Hey everyone, welcome to the Super Review Show's Mixed Bag, coming to you live once again from the J Cave. I am joined as always by my good man, Bill Murphy.
What's going on, folks?
Just a friendly reminder, everyone, we the
best podcast.
Every episode, we the best podcast. Thank you, DJ Khalid. I got to tell you guys right up front, Bill thought of tonight's topic. And what is tonight's topic, Bill?
Tonight's topic. Okay, first of all, I'm in a good mood because I have ice cream, so I'm in a good mood.
Yes, he's eating on camera, but that's okay.
Well, actually, it's technically frozen yogurt, but it's still good.
There you go.
But anyway, it got to be somewhat healthy. But anyway,
of course.
Tonight's topic, we're going to talk about something interesting. Well, everything's always interesting here on Mixed Bag. Am I right, JT?
Of course, we choose the best topics in the world.
Because we the best podcast.
Because we the best podcast.
Tonight, we're going to be talking about banned TV episodes.
Yes. Very interesting topic.
Episodes from TV that were banned for whatever reason. Okay, we're just going to give you a fair warning. A good chunk of the things we're going to talk about tonight were actually banned for some controversial reasons. So, viewer discretion is advised.
Yes, legit tonight.
We're gonna try. I don't like to use the term water down, but we're gonna try to water it down a little bit, just so you know.
Yeah, because some of these episodes have like some certain things in them. Bill knows more about this than I do, but that's okay. So we're gonna get into it. Bill,
you're gonna learn shit tonight, and isn't learning stuff fun?
Learning stuff is great. What show did you want to start with, my friend?
Well, are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain.
I can't hear you.
Aye, Captain.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Spongebob Squarepants.
Who has two bad episodes we're going to talk about?
Spongebob Squarepants.
Yeah, folks. SpongeBob actually has two banned episodes.
That's crazy.
And we're going to talk about both of them. And I think it's appropriate because JT's been on a SpongeBob binge lately, haven't you?
Yes. For those of you who don't know and don't follow us on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, or like us on Facebook and Twitter or whatever, I do plenty of postings on our Super Review Show Instagram story of SpongeBob things that I just find hysterical. It says the first 3 seasons are golden. And I'm on a SpongeBob tangent right now. I'm binge watching the first 3 seasons. I'm almost done with season 3, which is great. And it's so funny. Oh my God.
All right. The first episode we're talking about that got banned was the episode Midlife Crustacean.
Okay. And what was that one about?
That was the episode when Mr. Krabs is going through his midlife crisis and he goes on a night on the town with SpongeBob and Patrick.
Oh, yes.
You know, are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs? Do you feel it now, Mr. Krabs?
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now? I love that.
So after the night seems to be a bust, and then Patrick goes, I guess you're going to miss the panty raid.
You mean girls? Girls.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And you're going to raid their underpants. And that scene when they go into that house and it turns out to be Mr. Krabs' mom's house. And when they go into the underwear drawer and then they go, we hit the jackpot.
Yeah. Classic episode too. Classic episode, of course. I'm not even up there yet, but.
So now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. This was banned? Well, yeah, it actually was. It's actually, the episode aired in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And because I remember seeing it on Nickelodeon plenty of times.
Same here.
And it got banned. The last time it aired on Nickelodeon was 2018.
Really?
And also, it's not on Paramount Plus.
Damn it.
Because of the because parents didn't want their kids seeing that raiding people's underwear drawers. But you know what?
Yeah.
Here's something that makes me scratch my head, JT, and agree to disagree.
What do you got?
This episode aired like 15 years prior. Like
to when they first banned it, yeah.
Yeah, like that if you made the now listen, I just want to say, and I don't know if JT's on the same boat here, but I'm not for banning things. I'm not for censoring things. I don't know how you feel, JT, but
we are in the same boat. I mean, full disclosure, if you want to show stuff on Family Guy or The Simpsons or SpongeBob or whatever, do it. Just do it carefully. That's all I ask. Because otherwise you will get banned. I'm surprised. I didn't know this was banned until you just said that. That's very interesting, actually.
This is Ben. Ran it back with Bill. Ran it back with Bill. Ow! Yeah, this whole episode is gonna be an episode of Random Facts with Bill. Once you think about it,
we should. I'm full disclosure, I am gonna work on a Random Facts with Bill compilation.
But anyway, so yeah, this episode because the parents didn't want to see their kids. But I also have a theory of why this episode was banned in specifically 2018.
Why is that?
Because that's when the Me Too movement started gaining steam.
Oh, I see. Yep.
So maybe they didn't want kids seeing that and thinking that that's okay. So I want to ask, do you think banning that episode was justified or not justified?
I think given time, possibly, but I think for the most part, I think it was just looked at as a classic SpongeBob episode. But at the same time, I understand their reasoning for it recently. But that's me.
But yeah, but yeah. So the reason why you folks haven't seen that episode on Nickelodeon for a while, or you haven't seen it on Paramount Plus, that's why.
Damn.
Okay.
It's such a funny episode too.
Yeah, I would say in my SpongeBob episodes, like that is probably like in my top 10.
Oh, it's like there's dude, get a ride. I'm on a binge right now. It's crazy.
You know what we got to do one day?
What?
Top 10 SpongeBob episodes.
Yes, I will take note of that.
Coming soon, folks. Top 10 SpongeBob episodes.
Mixed bag. Top 10 SpongeBob episodes.
Yeah. But anyway, okay, so there was actually another SpongeBob episode that actually never aired.
Really? Okay.
But if you see it online, but it is floating around online.
Which was what? Which one?
It's called Quarantine Crab.
Okay. What is it about?
It apparently the health inspector. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I just saw this episode the other day.
He comes in, detects that there is a virus in the Krusty Krab, and puts SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Pearl, and Mrs. Puff all in quarantine in the Krusty Krab.
Oh, okay.
So this episode was actually supposed to air in 2020, and I think the smart folks who watch our show probably know why this episode never aired.
Very well so. I mean, that's yeah. We for those of you who lived through 2020, which face it, a lot of you have, if not all of you, that showing the quarantine on SpongeBob would have been they might have lost viewership, truthfully, if they haven't already.
Like I said, I'm not for banning, I'm not for censorship, but I can see why they never aired this episode.
Me, same here.
Because we use this type of stuff for escapism.
Yeah.
And I think they didn't want kids to see, oh my God, we watched this to get away from everything. We don't want to see it on SpongeBob too. But on the flip side, one once you think about it, I think maybe it would have been a good thing to show this episode during quarantine.
Maybe.
Because it would have maybe helped explain to kids what a quarantine is and why we're doing it.
Maybe. I mean, I think that's a very, very valid thing.
But at the end of the day, I can see why they never aired it, because they probably didn't want kids to get scared. And they aired like the second episode in that show, in that thing, but they never aired Quarantine Crab. So yeah.
The more you know.
Even SpongeBob couldn't get away from the censors. What do you think?
That's crazy. I mean, I was surprised. I wasn't even. I thought we would get to this. I didn't know we would actually start with this. It's a good one. So
okay. Now, my friend, it's time we go to the great city of Springfield.
Yes, to Family Guy.
No, Simpsons.
Kidding. Sorry, everyone. The Simpsons.
The Simpsons. Do 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 do.
Another show that has to end.
What was that?
A show that has to end at some point.
Yeah. JT here has never seen a single episode of The Simpsons.
No, it's been on for 30. How many years now?
33 years, and he has not seen one episode.
I'm kind of proud. I mean, I like The Simpsons. I like the way that like the show is, but I've never seen a single episode. So
you know what I have to do now? You have Disney Plus, right?
I do have Disney Plus.
I'm coming over your house, and I'm going to make you watch all 33 seasons.
That'd be. You might have to buy my summer up. Just saying, but
no. Tell you what, I'll make you watch all the pre-movie seasons.
Fair enough, because I heard those are the better seasons as it is. So
post-season ones, that's up to you, and post-movie ones, that's up to you.
Gotcha. But The Simpsons.
Yeah, but you want to know something? In their 34 years of Aaron, you would think they'd have a few banned episodes. They've only had one. I'll tell you what it is in a second, but they've had some episodes that weren't banned but caused controversy. Like there was one when Homer was smoking medicinal marijuana, and they had to cut down some of the scenes in some countries.
Okay.
And there was actually an episode where the Simpsons went to Rio in Brazil.
Yeah.
And Homer ends up getting kidnapped, and the Rio Tourist Board did not like the depiction of Rio in that episode. So they actually sued Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons.
Really?
Because they didn't like the depiction of Rio in that episode, so they sued him.
Interesting. Okay.
But then after much talk, and they ended up dropping the suit. Now the banned episode. It is an episode. It's called Stark Raven Dad.
Okay.
And it is considered one of the best Simpsons episodes. I would put that in my top 10. I wouldn't even debate that. The episode is Homer gets thrown into a mental institution.
Oh boy. Okay.
Isn't this getting off to a lovely start?
Yeah, right.
And Homer meets a big guy who thinks he's Michael Jackson.
Oh my God.
And guess who he's voiced by?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. And fun fact, Michael Jackson actually was not credited.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why exactly, but he was a big Simpsons fan, and he actually called Matt Groening and said, "Hey, I really want to be on a Simpsons episode." And he goes, "Okay, well, let me throw around some ideas, and we'll let you know." And also there is some singing in the episode.
Okay.
But here's another fun fact. Michael Jackson actually doesn't sing. It's actually done by a sound-alike.
Really?
He didn't sing because he had contractual obligations with his record company.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And they wouldn't allow him to do it. And also, okay, so the rest of the story is Homer finally gets out of the mental institution and finds out that Michael Jackson doesn't have anywhere to go. And he calls Bart, and Bart literally tells everyone and their mothers, and they're all disappointed that it's not the real Michael Jackson. And on top of that, it's Lisa's birthday, and she's expecting a gift from Bart, but Bart doesn't get her anything. And Michael Jackson suggests that he write her a song, and they write a song in probably one of the most wholesome Simpson moments ever. The song Happy Birthday, Lisa. Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa. One of the best Simpsons moments ever. And then the guy who thinks he's Michael Jackson, it turns out he goes back to a regular voice, and his name is Leon Kapowski. And it turns out that that's why he was in the nut house, because he thought he was Michael Jackson, and Leon Kapowski goes his own way. And also another interesting fact before we get to why it was banned. They actually wanted to bring back Leon Kapowski in an episode, but this time they wanted to have Prince voice him.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And they wanted to have Leon Kapowski thinks he's Prince this time.
Oh, okay.
Prince originally agreed to it, but when they gave him the story ideas, Prince rejected it, and they never did it.
Really? That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, but yeah. So why was this episode banned?
Tell me why, Bill.
I think everyone who has above the IQ of 10 can probably figure it out. In 2019, that's when the Leaving Neverland documentary came out.
Oh, okay.
About the allegations that faced Michael Jackson.
Right.
Listen, we are not here to say whether Michael was innocent or guilty, but we can say that. That was the reason why the episode was pulled. They took it out of syndication.
Right.
They took it out of syndication, so it's not going to air for a while. And they took it off, and when Disney bought Fox and they put The Simpsons on Disney Plus, they actually took out that episode.
Wow.
They actually took out. I'm sorry, what are you saying?
No, that's very interesting. I never knew that.
So, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we're going to ask about a lot of these banned episodes tonight. Do you think the ban was justified or... Because the episode aired in 1991.
Oh, that's over 30 years ago.
So Matt Groening, who is the creator of The Simpsons, said, quote, "I do not believe in book burning, but this is a chapter of our book that I think we should take out."
That's a fair assessment. That's a fair point.
But you know what? This also goes in because while researching this, it's kind of a double standard in a way, because I don't know if you know, what's his face? John K. Kazarski or something like that, the creator of Ren and Stimpy.
No, I'm not familiar with that. No.
Well, he actually did an opening couch gag for The Simpsons.
Okay.
And John K. got into some trouble with one time he was on Howard Stern, and he showed a picture of a girl that was dressed very scandalously, And Howard goes, "Ooh, she's hot." And then John goes, "Yeah, she's underage."
Oh my God.
And it turns out he was fooling around with some women. Some of them may have been underage. I'm not 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they still air that episode with his couch gag. So why hasn't that been taken out? Why hasn't that been taken out?
I'm not sure.
And, allegedly, keyword, guess what the keyword is here? Allegedly. Mr. Groening was a guest of a certain someone on his certain island.
What?
Was a guest of a certain someone on his island. I'm not going to say this man's name. I'm just going to text you his name, and that'll be the end of it. Sound good?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. But this is just crazy. Oh, okay, that guy. Sorry, we're not going to disclose who it is. Full disclosure.
But he was a guest on this person's island, and yet he still has a job.
Oh my God.
So to me, I don't know what you think, but I think it's kind of a double standard. Like, I get it. The allegations against Michael Jackson are serious, but you also got to look at it in context. It's like, this was the time when Michael Jackson was the most famous person on earth.
Oh yeah. At the time. Yeah.
Was the most late 80s, early 90s. Michael Jackson was the most famous person on earth. Like,
and some people don't know. Some people fully don't know what that actually means. The guy was huge, guys.
They actually did a study. Anthropologists went to other parts of the world showing pictures of people. And you know who? There were the two people who were the most recognizable were Michael Jackson. And you know who the other one was?
Slash. No, I have no idea.
Jesus.
Really? Wow. Yeah. That tells you something right there.
Yeah. So at the time, because Michael Jackson was the biggest, again, he was the biggest star on earth. But now, with the allegations that came out in, 1993, and then his trial in 2005, and then we had the Leaving Neverland documentary.
Right.
I'm not going to say my thoughts on that documentary. My only thoughts is go watch it for yourself and form your own conclusion.
Yes, I agree. I agree 100%.
But I really kind of don't think it should have been banned, but I understand why they did it.
Right. I mean, the logistics behind it. I
understand why they did it, because with all this coming out, I don't know what you think, JT. I'll get your thoughts in a second. But with all this coming out, they probably wanted to save face and, like, you know what? Yeah, let's take this out of syndication. Is it going to be permanently out of syndication? I don't know.
Right.
Are they going to one day put it back in? I don't know. What do you think, JT? I know you haven't seen the episode, but you just heard me blabber about it. So
I mean, well, given the situation at hand with it, I mean, it makes. I mean, he said it's still in syndication. They still rotate it in occasionally.
No, they took it out.
Oh, they took it out. Like, you asking if they will ever put it back in?
Do you think they ever should have put it back in, or like I know? And like I said, they took it off Disney Plus.
Right.
All the modern re-releases of Disney of The Simpsons third season on DVD does not have it on there.
Oh, not even the DVD releases.
No, even like if you got it like in the olden days, yes, it's on there. Like the pre-2009 DVD release, then yes, it's still on there. But any re-releases of the third season post 2019, it's not on there.
That's fascinating. I mean, do I think they'll ever bring it back? Was that what you're asking me? Like,
and do you think they make the right decision, or do you think they just should have left it?
I think personally, that they removing it made sense. I think the reasons you said, the reason why they didn't make sense, truthfully. But I really think that bringing it, I think bringing that back into streaming, syndication, whatever, might put a bit of a damper on things. Truthfully, because I mean, what you tell me, was this a controversial episode?
Well, no, it wasn't really controversial. It's considered one of the best Simpsons episodes.
Okay, all right.
It is considered one of the best episodes.
Okay.
But but they no, it only took controversy after the Leaving Neverland documentary got released.
I see. Okay, it's all coming full circle now. Forgive me.
Yeah, no. I'm glad you asked.
I'm just taking my time with it.
It just took it only gained steam when the Leaving Neverland documentary got released.
Okay, all right.
And Matt Groening said, again, I don't believe in burning books, but this is a chapter of our books that I think we have to take out.
You know what? I don't think they should put it back in, because I feel like if they did, it would only revamp more controversy. And in today's day and age, I'm not going to get political, or I'm just going to be a social awareness person here for a sec. The world is full with enough controversial stuff, and we should just keep it as is. That's one less thing we don't need to worry about,
Yeah. And I can see that argument, but you also got to watch these episodes in context. So in historical context, like at that time, Michael Jackson, again, was the biggest star on the face of the earth.
Correct.
You got to look at it in historical context. But I see what you're saying. If you look at it in present context, knowing all the stuff that happened since that episode aired, that does kind of, put a bit of a sour taste in your mouth.
Right. Yeah, so, it really does.
I think both sides have a valid point. But yeah, I think you can still watch it on Amazon Prime, though.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think it is still on Amazon Prime.
How did Disney not get that off of Amazon and put it on Disney Plus?
I have no idea.
That's interesting. Sorry.
But yeah, so that was the one band episode of The Simpsons. And now it's time we go to The Simpsons ripoff.
Here we go, ladies and
gentlemen. Family Guy.
Let's go over to Family Guy.
Okay, I want to say something before we begin here. There is one episode, and it's the famous band episode, but we are not going to discuss that one.
Correct.
Just because of what's going on in the news right now regarding the subject of that episode, JT and I have made the executive decision that we will not discuss that episode.
No, we're not discussing that. We're not going to say what it is, but we're not discussing that specific.
But I am going to say one thing. Never aired in the US. It aired in the UK, though. That's all I'm going to say about it, and you can still watch it on DVD. But we are not discussing that episode because of what's currently going on in the news regarding this topic. So we are not going to talk about it.
Nope, not at all.
But there were actually two other banned episodes. One, it was banned for a little bit. It was a early episode of Family Guy, actually.
Okay.
It was called When You Wish Upon a Weinstein. Okay. It doesn't have anything to do with that person named that name. I actually had this conversation with my brother earlier. But When You Wish Upon a Weinstein, it was the plot of the episode is Peter gets scammed by an insurance salesman.
Okay.
And we know not all insurance salesmen are bad, so if we have any insurance salesmen watching, we sure you're one of the good ones. But anyway, he gets scammed out, and he ends up one day running into a accountant name. I think his name was like Harry Weinstein or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I don't know. And he helps him get his money back. And he thinks converting his son Chris to Judaism is going to make him smarter.
Oh.
This episode kind of was controversial because of alleged anti-Semitism.
Okay.
Because of alleged anti-Semitism. And Seth MacFarlane defended the episode because he said, quote, 70% of our writers are Jewish.
That's a fair point by Seth MacFarlane standards.
And the writer of the episode was Jewish. And he said, we even took it to 2 rabbis, and they both gave us the thumbs up. We took the script to 2 rabbis for consultation, and they gave us the thumbs up. And Fox was hesitant. They didn't air it for a while because of that.
Okay.
And there was another controversy in that episode. This doesn't really have to do anything of why it was banned, but there was actually a song in there called "I Need a Jew."
Oh my God.
Which was a parody of "When You Wish Upon a Star."
Okay.
And this was before Disney bought Fox.
Yep.
Disney actually sued Seth MacFarlane for copyright infringement.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, they sued him for copyright infringement. But the case got dismissed because they ruled that it was a parody. So therefore it falls under fair use.
Oh, okay. All right.
So therefore, listen, we're not legal scholars here. We're not going to give you a definition of what fair use is.
No.
Because it's just very complicated. But parody is covered under fair use, and therefore there was no copyright infringement.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that was the case. Yeah, and so banning justified or not?
Reasonably so. Even though it was fair use, that still makes sense that why Disney would sue Seth MacFarlane and why it would be controversial to begin with. So
it's actually funny now knowing that Fox owns Disney. I mean, Disney owns Fox.
Yeah, Disney owns Fox, which is even crazier. So
yeah, and that's a whole nother conversation. But there was actually another Family Guy episode. It was called Turban Cowboy.
Okay.
This was an episode when Peter makes a new friend who is a Muslim. And the guy ended up being a mole for a terrorist organization. And Peter basically goes undercover to expose this said person. And the reason why it was, and there's a few, and the reason why it was banned, there was a cutaway gag when Peter won the Boston Marathon by driving through the runners with his car, possibly killing them.
Okay.
And this episode aired in March of 2013, the month before the Boston Marathon bombing.
That's terrible.
Well, to be fair, it's not like they knew it was going to happen.
No, but still, that's just convenient timing, truthfully.
And then Fox came out and said, "Yeah, we are not airing this episode again."
Yeah, well, that's good on their part.
But the real reason why it was banned, aside from that, was because that was bad enough. Because there was a clip that was floating around online.
Yeah.
Of that same scene and bombs going off.
Oh my God. Okay.
And you know who that conspiracy was started by?
Who?
Alex Jones.
Oh, of course.
So you know when he gets into it.
Yeah.
So anyway, because that floated around, I guess the conspiracy theory was like, see, they knew. Because there's and I've explained this before, there's a joke that The Simpsons predicted everything.
Yeah.
and they say, see, Family Guy knew. And then Seth MacFarlane went on Twitter and said, yeah, that clip is fake. Yeah, that clip is fake. So I think, the original clip. I think the original clip was I think the original clip was good was a big reason why the episode was pulled. But I think that big conspiracy about the video, I think that was really the reason why it got pulled. But you know what? I can kind of see why that episode. I 100% see why it got pulled because, on one hand, they didn't know this thing was going to happen, but you know what? They probably wanted to be sensitive to
to the viewers and whatnot.
To the viewers, because you never know. Maybe somebody was injured or lost their life in the bombing. So they probably wanted. I could just say I see why they banned it. Yeah, so that is with Family Guy. And again, we're not going to talk about the big one that was banned, but you know what? Here's what I'm going to do for you folks.
What do you got?
I'm going to tell you the episode. I'm going to tell you the episode and the season that big band episode is in. Sound fair?
Sure.
I'll tell you the season and the episode, but that's it. I won't tell you the name. I'm not going to tell you the plot. It's season 8, episode 21.
Okay.
That's all I'm giving you, folks. I'm not telling you the name of the episode or what happened.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you figure it out for yourself and form your own conclusion.
Sounds good to me.
So, okay. So now, all right. What else should we move on to now? Hey, JT, are you ready to catch them all?
Yeah. What do you got?
We're going to talk a little Pokemon. That all right?
You said Pokemon?
Yeah. We're going way back to my time here, boys.
And this is like when I was 5 or whatever.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all. There was actually a bunch of banned episodes from Pokemon.
Really?
There was actually 3 ones I'm going to talk about. One was a thing called Tentacruel, in which the Pokemon Tentacruel is destroying a city.
Okay.
And flooding it. That episode was actually banned after 9/11.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Because it showed a city being destructed. But then after 9/11, it aired a little bit, but then it got pulled again in 2005 because the city was flooded. And that was actually after Hurricane Katrina. So,
oh, wow.
Speaking of 9/11 Pokemon episodes, there was an episode called Tower of Terror.
Okay.
That got pulled temporarily just because it included the name Terror.
Just because of the name.
Just because of the name Terror. Because if you watched our 9/11 episode we did last year, anything that included terrorism or planes or death, they scrapped.
Yeah, that was a rough time. But I mean, that makes sense at the time. They're like, all right, we don't want to deal with this. We don't want to deal with that. That makes sense.
And there was actually, I'm not getting to the big one just yet, but there was an episode when one of the characters, who is a male character by the pool, basically wearing a bra, and said, "Do you like these?"
Oh, geez. Okay.
So that got pulled.
That makes sense to me. I mean, that's to me personally, but yeah. And
now it's time for the big one.
Oh boy, what do we got?
This episode is called Electric Soldier Porygon. It actually never aired in the US. And here's why. You guys have probably heard about this.
Yeah, what do you got?
This episode featured Porygon, the Pokemon, and when he did his attack, it like showed flashing lights, and in Japan, when this episode aired, it actually gave kids seizures.
Oh, geez.
It actually gave kids seizures.
That's terrible.
No, kids were rushed to the hospital because of that.
Right. Yeah.
I can totally 100% see why this episode was banned.
I can see why, too.
I don't think that's even up for debate. You?
Not even up for debate. Not even all.
That episode, actually, like I said, it never aired in the U.S.
Ever.
Never aired in the U.S.
Interesting. Okay.
But yet people know about it. How interesting is that?
That is very interesting, my friend.
So yeah, and Porygon actually never appeared in the show again after that. Because you know what? When we talk about things that have been banned, usually it's about, people getting their panties in a wad over stupid things. Sometimes it's over reasonable things, but this is 100% why I can see this was banned. 100%.
I could definitely see it too now that you're mentioning it. So
yeah. So JT, I actually got something I think you'd be interested in.
What do you got?
One of your favorite shows of all time.
One of my favorite shows of all time.
The X-Files.
Which episode was banned?
It's called Home.
Really?
You know what I'm talking about.
The one with the Peacock brothers?
Yeah, that episode got banned.
Wow.
Well, because hold on.
That's crazy.
I remember, but let me
because I mean, I remember the episode now. Like they were the brothers are incest. Like they're all like, I hate saying that, but like in the episode, these brothers are. Long story short, for those of you who don't know the X-Files, who don't know this episode, it's the episode where Mulder and Scully basically investigate this this family of brothers who are like murderers, but they're all. It's a really disgusting episode. Like they have like. Their mother is actually like they reproduce by using their mother. It's a really disgusting episode. If you haven't seen the X-Files, it's a really great show, truthfully. But this one episode is really like disgusting. But I'm gonna let Bill do the rest.
Yeah, but apparently, this was actually the first TV episode ever to get an MA rating.
Like, well, I that makes more sense now. Yeah.
Like for those of you who live outside the U.S.
Yep.
MA stands for mature audiences. Yeah, we're not going to go through the whole rating system. We'll be here all night.
No, that could be a whole another episode.
Yeah, Justin, call us. We want to do it with you.
How the rating system works for TV and film.
Yeah, but anyway, it says right here because, like what JT explained the plot, it was so upsetting to viewers. Because it was so frightening to viewers, Fox executives decided to pull the episode that was banned from it. They decided to pull the episode.
Yeah.
And it was yanked from air and it wasn't included in syndication. And it was literally banned for like years. And it was also the first episode to receive a viewer discretion warning.
Ever? For the show or in general? Probably for the show. Yeah. That episode, I mean, that one episode of The X-Files is terrifying. It's disgustingly terrifying. Truthfully. If you've never seen The X-Files or this episode, get on it with a mature warning, of course.
Do you think the ban was justified or no?
Yes, because the subject matter in the, and I don't want to get too much into it because I want some of our viewers and listeners are like, a certain age. I do believe that this deserved that discretion advised. Number one. Number two, I think deserves. I don't think it's on reruns at all. Like when they show the X-Files on TV, I don't think they actually have that episode on.
Is the X-Files on any streaming service or?
It's on Hulu. But Hulu's got adult content as it is, so it's fine.
Yeah, because you know what? Part of me wants to watch the X-Files for some weird reason.
Bill, we have to get on it together.
Okay, you're gonna do the same thing that I'm gonna do to you with The Simpsons, aren't you? Aren't you?
The only difference is The Simpsons has 30 seasons. The X-Files is like, I think 10 or 11.
Okay, better go clear my calendar.
Yeah. We'll have to have you over one night. Anyways, but the X-Files, I could talk a little bit about this. This episode of called Home is about they go to Pennsylvania to investigate some murders that's been going on. And like these brothers are like, they look disgusting because like they're incest. They've been reproducing by using their own mother. It's a really twisted, disgusting episode. It's really good. But
you know what the irony is?
You don't have the guts for it. What's up?
You know what the irony is? And we talked about this when we talked about The Simpsons and SpongeBob. Those episodes that were bad and this X-Files episode, some of them consider them the best episodes of the series.
That's true. I mean, when some people say the X-Files best episode is Home.
Isn't that so ironic that some people who consider them the best episodes,
even though they're banned,
ended up getting banned? How ironic is that?
That's honestly crazy, dude. I almost don't believe that, but like at the same time, you're true. Like the best Simpsons episode, the best Family Guy episode, the best SpongeBob episodes. It's weird how some of the best episodes are the ones that are banned, maybe because the ideas are just that good.
Yeah. Okay, we got 2 more shows to cut. Actually, 3 more. Third one, I'll see if I'm in the mood to get into the last one.
Okay, but really quick, the X-Files, check them out. It's a really great show.
Yeah, because I was thinking about this. I'm thinking, because I know JT's a big X-Files guy, so
such a good show, guys. Such a good show.
But anyway,
what do you got?
We're now gonna go to the criminal justice system is form of to the police that make the arrest and the district attorneys that prosecute the offenders. These are their stories. Dun dun
dun dun. Law and Order.
Yeah, there were actually 2 Law and Order episodes that got banned.
Dude, I've never seen Law and Order, but go on.
You've never seen The Simpsons. You've never seen Family Guy. You've never seen Law and Order.
To be fair, I look at Law and Order and I see just a regular cop show. I'm sure it's much more than that. I know that, but like, I just haven't I have to watch and get into it. That's a big thing. Anyways, go ahead.
But anyway, there was actually 2 episodes, one that only aired once and one that never got aired. The episode is called Sunday in the Park with Jorge.
Okay.
For all you musical theater nerds out there, it is a twist on Sunday in the Park with George by Stephen Sondheim.
Mm-hmm.
And the episode takes place during a Puerto Rican Day parade celebrations. And when a riot broke out and women were accosted. Apparently, this was actually based on a real life event because of the portrayal of Puerto Ricans in the episode. And a lot of Latino advocacy groups actually petitioned NBC to not show the episode again.
Okay.
And they actually sat down and talked about it with NBC, and NBC said, okay, we're banning it. And Dick Wolf, the creator of Law and Order, was not exactly happy about it.
Why wasn't he happy?
Because they didn't really give a clear answer. Maybe because he just didn't like his episodes being banned.
I mean, he is the creator of one of the most successful television shows of all time, too.
Yeah, he is one of the most successful creators. And and because I don't really know much about this whole thing, so I can't really speak, but I don't really know if this episode should have been banned or not. I could see why, but yeah, I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Okay, there was an episode, this time Law and Order SVU, Special Victims Unit.
Yeah.
And this episode was never aired.
Oh, okay. Was this never aired? Okay.
Okay. The name of the episode is called Unstoppable. And it is about a controversial candidate for mayor who gets allegations of SA.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I think you're going to find out who it was based on as soon as I tell you when it was supposed to air.
Okay.
It was supposed to air October 26, 2016.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yes. This episode was the candidate was based on then presidential candidate Donald Trump.
Okay.
It was based on him. Now, listen, I'm not saying my views on him. I'm not saying whether the allegations are true or not. I am just simply explaining the context of the episode.
Yep. Full disclosure right there, ladies and gentlemen.
I am not trying to get political. As JT will tell you, we do not like to get political on this show.
We hate it.
I'm just explaining the context because there were allegations against Trump. I'm not saying if they are true or not. I'm just saying for the context of the episode, it was based on that. So this episode was actually supposed to air 2 weeks before the election.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm getting sort of a mixed bag.
Bing. Anyways,
I'm sort of getting a mixed report of why it didn't air. Some people are saying because the World Series was going on at the time, and they didn't want that episode to conflict with the World Series, because especially that was the one when the Cubs won for the first time in over 100 years.
Yes, facts though.
So that's because when there is like events like the World Series or like the NBA Finals. Well, NBA Finals not so much because that's during the summer, and most TV shows are on summer break when the NBA Finals are on. So, but during the World Series, during big events like the World Series or like award shows, a lot of networks don't like to air new episodes because that's going to be conflicting with that.
Right, of course.
So they say that was the reason. The other reason is Dick Wolf said he didn't want to paint Trump in a bad light. Mm-hmm. And he said, you know what? We'll air it after the election.
Oh,
we'll
really?
air the episode after the election. And I think they were supposed to, I could be wrong. I got to look this up. I think they were planning on it airing the day after the election.
Oh, wow.
But then, and then they said, you know what? We'll air it sometime in November. We'll air it after the election. We'll air it like sometime in
like November, December.
We'll air it like end of the month. Okay, and Dick Wolf kind of sounds like he's procrastinating here. And they're like, oh, we'll air it sometime in December. Nah, you know what? We'll air it sometime in the new year. And then he got asked on a panel one time, goes, that episode, are you guys going to air it anytime soon? And he goes, oh, we'll air it in the spring.
They never did.
They never aired it. The episode never aired.
Interesting.
So what do you think about that, JT, that they never aired the episode?
That's, I think Dick Wolf was smart given the circumstances that everything was going on in the world at the time. And I'm just going to put this out. I know that Bill is not being political, ladies and gentlemen. He is not being political.
I'm just explaining the context.
Just explain the context of an episode of Law and Order SVU. Just want to also point out to people, just on a side note, us here at the Super Review Show, our job, at least I take responsibility on this. I know Bill does too, but I'm just going to say it right now. Our job is to not get political. Our job is to take you out of politics and take you out of life.
Like we have our personal views, but we check those at the door when we do this.
This is a full, like I'm just gonna sign up. We do the show. We love doing this show, and we keep it as like non-political because we don't want to offend anyone. We don't want to like make anyone think differently, change your input. We don't want anything like that. We want you to have a good time and enjoy the show always. No matter what, we are politics free, and our job is to take you out of time, not be a part of it.
Yeah, so and like, listen again, JT. I wasn't trying to get political. I was just explaining the context of the episode.
No. I know. I just wanted to give that little like fair warning for it because I refuse to get political on my show in general because it's just it just doesn't do what I want it to do, and I think people who do that a lot are like it gives them like a stomping ground, and I don't like doing that. That's me.
And like, listen again. I'm not telling you what my. Again, before we move on, I'm not telling you what my views on Trump are. I'm not telling you whether the allegations are true or false. I'm just explaining it in the context of the show. The character was based off of Donald Trump, and they did not air it because they did not want to paint him in a bad light. Yep. And the episode never aired.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's all we wanted to say, guys. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, since I brought up an episode with a Puerto Rican Day Parade, it made me think, and I didn't have this on the docket till it just came to my head.
What do you got?
It's from one of JT's other favorite shows, Seinfeld.
Barney? Oh, I'm kidding. We hate Barney. Seinfeld, what do you got?
First of all, could you imagine if a Barney episode got banned?
I think the show should be banned, but we talked about that before.
Yeah, but no, there was actually a Seinfeld episode that was banned. It's called the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
I've never heard of this. You're going to have to fill me in on this.
Well, okay, here's the episode. The gang, George, Jerry, Elaine, and Kramer leave a Met game early to beat the traffic. And when they're trying to get home, they get stuck in traffic because it's the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Okay.
And there is actually an episode, or there's actually a scene when Kramer's smoking a cigar and he's holding on to the Puerto Rican flag and the flag catches fire.
Oh my God. Okay.
And he's like stomping on the flag to try to put the fire out. And he's like, "That's what I think of your flag." And then everybody chases after him.
I see. Okay. All right.
So this was actually one of the last episodes I think this was like right before the finale.
Oh, it was supposed to be in season 9?
Yeah. And then the episode was actually taken out of syndication for 4 years.
Wow. Okay.
And they did re-air it in 2002 with that scene in there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So do you think banning justified? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say yes, but with a light. Don't take it to the bank. I think yes, but I think they could have slipped it in because there were some things in that show that like there were some things where George was like with the Yankees and he's trying to recruit like this Puerto Rican guy known as Alex Rodriguez and all this other crap. I mean, like they pushed the envelope a little bit on the show, but not like fully. But I will say that if the fact that also season 9 of Seinfeld, Larry David was not directly involved. So that being said, they obviously had time they could plan out stuff in general. Like they could just like, like, I don't know. Could they have aired it? Sure. But I'm surprised it caught me by surprise that they sort of didn't, if you know what I mean.
Like, I think what they should have done though, JT, and you would tell me if you agree or disagree.
Yeah. What's up?
They could have re-aired it, but they could have taken the flag burning scene out, or they could have edited it.
I agree with that. I second that.
like they could have edited it. I do think yeah, so can you believe Seinfeld had an episode banned?
That's crazy. I never knew that.
You want to know something even crazier who had an episode banned?
What?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor.
Really?
Mr. Rogers.
Oh, Mr. Rogers, not Robinson's. Sorry, guys.
Mr. Rogers actually had a few episodes banned.
Really?
Isn't that interesting?
That's actually really surprisingly interesting, truthfully.
Mr. Rogers, who's like an absolute saint. Like there was actually an episode called Conflict.
Yeah.
That was banned. Because of, I think it was because of the Vietnam War at the time. And hold on, I'm just trying to pull up some more info here, guys. I apologize.
You're good. I didn't know Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood actually like had a couple of bad episodes. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there was a yeah, and plus he is like the nicest guy on the planet. Can we all agree on that?
Absolutely, 100%.
Like they actually tried to dig up dirt on him. Yeah. They literally couldn't find anything.
That's crazy.
Because I actually watched a documentary on him, and they all said, okay, it wasn't during the Vietnam War. It was saying, well, it was during the Cold War. This was aired in the 80s. It shows a video about how marbles are made. It goes, and the neighborhood of make-believe is sending a delegation to Southwood, where the residents have used all the parts to make a bridge, and it's a two-parter. Due to the content of conflict being on bombs and war and the recent events in the news portraying to war and violence, which made them unsafe. They made them unsafe for younger viewers, and the episode was actually banned until 1996.
Wow, that's crazy.
And
you wouldn't think that, but that's wow.
And get this of a banned episode. This was probably one of my. This is, I would say, okay, that episode was actually banned because of the Cold War that was brewing at the time. Trying to find the reason why this other reason this episode was banned. Okay, there was an episode that aired in. There was an episode. Oh, that was 5 episodes of the conflict. I'm sorry. I'm just like really going. I'm trying to find a reason of why the Okay. Okay. This episode I think was banned because of the conflict or because of the subject matter. And this is where he gives one of his famous quotes, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. The episode was actually about, get this, gun violence.
Really?
Yes, it was actually banned because this episode aired after the assassination of John Lennon.
Oh.
Okay. After the assassination attempts of Pope John Paul II and President Reagan.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And another incident that happened. And I think the episode was banned because it was upsetting to many viewers. But he says right in the beginning of the episode, he begins right. He says right in the beginning of the episode, he says, this episode is not for children unless they have an adult watching with them. And this episode, this was actually okay. I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying to find more info.
It's okay, but it's okay.
But anyway, yeah, they really okay. I'll tell you what I do know. He's explaining about gun violence and all that happened. And he gives probably one of my favorite quotes of his.
Okay. What is it?
And he says, I still get a little choked up when I think about this, thinking of everything that has happened in the last 2 years with COVID and a bunch of other things, and especially what just happened in Buffalo this weekend. He says this, he goes, when I was a little boy, I'm speaking as Mr. Rogers, when I was a little boy and I would see something scary that happened in the news, I would go to my parents and grandparents and see what they thought. My mother would always be looking through the paper. To see if there was anyone who was trying to help the person who got injured, the person who got hurt. He said, always look for the people who are trying to help. There is always someone who wants to help.
It's true.
There's always someone who wants to help. And he said, and that's what I do nowadays. When I see something scary in the paper, I always look for the people who are helping. And he said, do you think Mr. Rogers gets mad? Of course I do. Especially when someone tries to hurt others or someone tries to hurt me. And in the beginning of that episode, like, you would never think in the beginning of this episode, Mr. Rogers would never say something like this. He goes, there are some people out there who are so sick and do terrible things, and they are the ones that end up in the news.
Yep.
So, people like you and me, we know how to talk and play about our feelings. But you know what? That end quote, when he said, always look for the people who are trying to help. And you know what? I just want to say, when how we've been dealing with the last 2 years with COVID and all the other problems, like so many problems, you can probably write a whole nother verse to We Didn't Start the Fire. But you know what? Always think of that, what Mr. Rogers said. Always look for the people who are trying to help.
Yep.
And yeah. Okay, JT, I know I've kept you too long. This one more thing, okay? One more thing.
All right, last one for the night. Go ahead.
We had to talk about this, folk. South Park.
Okay, what do you got?
Have you ever watched South Park, JT?
Like once. A while.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
Good. What do you got?
There was actually a South Park episode. It was actually the 200th and 201 episode.
Wow.
That actually got banned.
Okay.
Because they all the plot of it is actually pretty funny. They actually all the jokes in South Park, all the celebrities who they make a joke about them, file a class action lawsuit in the episode. Like, you had to say Tom Cruise won't came out of the closet.
Oh my God.
No, you never. That's the one episode you gotta watch.
Yeah.
They were trying to hint at Tom Cruise being possibly. But they said, you can't say Tom Cruise is gay. He goes, okay, well, why don't we just say he's in the closet? And they literally put him in a closet.
That's funny.
So they never really hinted that he was gay. And this is not that bad episode, but they're like, Stan, what's going on? It's Tom Cruise. He won't come out of the closet.
Oh my God.
And that episode was controversial for other reasons because of Scientology.
Okay.
And Isaac Hayes, the voice of Chef, actually left the show because he was a Scientologist.
Oh wow.
Anyway, the 200th episode, it actually got banned or censored. I don't remember which one, reason being, because there was a joke in one of the earlier South Park episodes where they were going to show the Prophet Muhammad of the Muslim faith. And in the Islamic faith, I don't know what the whole reasoning is. I'm not a religious scholar here.
Right. You're good.
They don't like showing images of the Prophet Muhammad.
Okay.
And a bunch of like extremist Muslim groups actually threatened to kill Trey Parker and Matt Stone if they showed him.
Oh, geez.
So they didn't do it.
Well, that's good, I guess. Yeah.
And then after that, they never aired the episode again.
Makes sense. I mean,
like that reason I could see this. It's not. They were scared of, they were scared. If someone threatened my life, they'd be scared of you.
I agree.
So yeah, that's why that South Park episode, and it's not even available on streaming on HBO Max or Paramount.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow, they really like put that in the can then.
That's all I got for you. Now I want to conclude by asking you this question, JT.
What do you got?
Should episodes and movies, should they be banned?
In general, or like if they know they have like explicit stuff?
If they know they have explicit stuff, should they be banned?
I think it all depends on context. We talked about the X-Files episode Home. We talked about South Park. We talked about Family Guy. I think it all depends on what the context is. Like they still aired that episode of Home on cable TV, but then they stopped airing it a while ago on regular cable. But I think it's on Hulu, like I said. But as far as banning stuff goes, like I'm all for creativity. I'm all for like just general like making of stuff. I just think that people got to be smart about it. That's all. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
I think the creators need to be smart about it and play it safe. Truthfully, like if like you're not going to see like a rated a TVMA like Sesame Street thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to like you know what I'm saying. But like I think that's what I think it's a wise thing to do if necessary. Truthfully, so.
Yeah, I think it's all about self-censorship. Like an example we did tonight, not talking about that Family Guy episode.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, it's a hot topic in the news right now, and we didn't want
to get political or cause controversy. We're not for that.
Yeah, but you know what? Because I am a staunch believer of the First Amendment, but I can see why people. Like I said, you got to look in context. Like when we were talking about The Simpsons, you got to look at the context at the time.
Right.
And, and you got to look at the context at the time. And, because I think a lot of people have discussed about banning certain films, and that's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, of course.
That's a whole nother can of worms. But, you got to look at a lot of these things in their context. Yeah, so that's all I got for you tonight, folks.
But that's all, folks. So
hopefully next week we'll talk about something a little more lighter.
I agree, but I think tonight, Bill, I was a little hesitant to do this topic tonight, but I'm kind of glad we did. Truthfully, I'm really glad. I'm
glad we did too.
I'm glad you said, "Hey, JT, I got a great idea for you." So, but that will do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching, listening. However you enjoyed us tonight on Spotify podcast, on YouTube, whatever you prefer. Just simply follow us at the Super Review Show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and follow us on Instagram, or most actively on Instagram. Truthfully, thank you so much for always as always, Bill. I want to thank Bill for joining me as always. And Bill, what do you got?
Don't forget to check out the Sports Insanity podcast on the Sports Insanity Network at www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com.
They have a ton of great sports news and other things over there. Truthfully, They're great. They do such a great job, and we love to see them and love to hear from them all the time. They do great work. Thank you so much, guys, for watching as always and streaming as always. You guys are great. We'll see you guys next week for the episode of Mixed Bag. Stay safe and
take care.